Hello, hello. Good morning. It is Wednesday. You guys know I always have to look at my computer to see what day it is. It's Wednesday, August the 4th. And I'm excited for today. We're going to talk a little bit about cash flow. We're going to talk about profit planning, which is my favorite thing in the whole world. So I'm excited for today's presentation. And you guys, it's August. How is it August? I feel like every new month I say that, but I don't know what happened to this summer. I honestly, I feel like I blinked and it was the end of the summer. My kids, well, one of my kids goes back to school on Friday, which is insane because it's like 90 degrees here, you guys. It does not feel like it's time to go back to school. But of course, I also had to go like do some fall clothes shopping yesterday, even in 90-degree heat. I don't know. There's something about it turning into August that makes you feel like it's fall, even though it's not actually at all fall, at least where I'm at. So tell me hello, tell me where you're watching me from, and is it crazy hot where you are as well? Okay, so I'm super excited for today's talk. Wherever you're watching me from, currently I'm live on Financial, I think I'm live, hopefully. If I see any of your comments come through, I'll know I'm live. On Financial Literacy for Women Business Owners, the Facebook group. If you're not in it, come join us. I'm also live on my YouTube channel, Jamie Trull. Make sure to like and subscribe because that makes me smile, you guys. And I'm live on my business page, which is just Jamie Trull. So wherever you're watching me, say hi. And then we're going to jump right on in to talking about cash flow. Because today we're going to talk about my favorite thing to do. I mean, that might be a little generous because believe it or not, I don't just do number stuff. I like to actually have hobbies and things, but my favorite thing to do within my business. And okay, good. I see. Oh no. So Jody says she hasn't seen me out on Facebook. So hopefully Facebook's working because I'm not seeing too many. Okay, now I'm seeing people join. So hopefully Facebook is sending out the notification. Facebook does wonky things, you guys. I don't know what's going on with Facebook sometimes, but hopefully y'all are able to see me. It just seems like, any given day, whatever Facebook decides to do. Okay, cool. I see Raquel. So she's over on Facebook. Awesome. I hate to have so much lead up, you guys, because, you guys that are here right on time are like, okay, let's get to it. But I'm usually just waiting for people to join live. Okay, so I'm going to jump on into the topic for today, which is my system, actually. It is my proprietary system within our business that I created called profit planning. And you've probably heard people use, the term profit planning and things like that out there in the world for different things. My profit planning is different. And how you know we're talking about my profit planning is that my profit planning has 2 F's. And it's not because I don't know how to spell. I promise. My profit planning is profit spelled P-R-O-F-F-I-T. And we're going to talk about why. Okay. It's one of those, where every letter stands for something to help remind you what you need to do. And one of the things that business owners often, when I talk to them, there's a lot of talk about managing cash flow and what to do with your cash. And also what do you do with your profit? What should be your goals with your profit? And how can you use your cash within your business and your profit within your business to further your goals and your dreams in your business, but also your life, right? Because as entrepreneurs, they are very, very highly tied together, right? Business and life are kind of all one thing. So now they shouldn't be right from a actual procedural. You want to have that business bank account, all of that, but there is a very, very close tie-in for entrepreneurs between business and personal. So we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to profit plan, what it means to come up with a plan that's going to help you achieve those goals and dreams. Now, this is actually a little bit of a snippet, just FYI, a little tiny bit of a snippet of what we talk about within my Financial Fitness Formula program, which will be opening doors again in roughly about a month. But we've got a lot of things kind of gearing up to that. So I want you guys to be thinking about that in the back of your mind, that I can't give you all the things. I can't tell you the entire system because there's a lot previous to this too, and a lot that comes after it. But I want to give you a snippet of profit planning in general. So I'm going to throw this on up here. And before I throw it up, I want to give one kind of, what are we talking about here? we're talking about once you have cash coming into your business, right? Revenue you're collecting in your business. You've got expenses, and these are your base expenses, the expenses you need to be spending to run your business. We're not talking about really much above and beyond that right now, right? And that generates out after you've subtracted those, must-have business expenses from your revenue coming in. That's kind of like your base operating profit. Now, it doesn't mean that all of that's going to come out of the business, and that's what we're going to talk about. What do we do with this base operating profit? How do we make sense of this, and how do we use it to achieve our goals? Okay, so profit planning. So here's my profit with 2 F's. Okay, you guys, I told you it is. Oh, I keep forgetting what this is called. Somebody tell me what this is called. It's not an anagram, right? What is this? I'm so bad at remembering what these things are called where every letter stands for something. Okay, so I'm going to come on in and we're going to start at the beginning. And this is really, really important. This is about creating an intentional plan, just again, to kind of level set. This is creating an intentional plan for that kind of base profit you're making in your business, revenue minus the must-have expenses you have in your business. And so you're going to come out and you're going to have the very first one is, as you can probably imagine, we have to pay ourselves, you guys. Now, I will say, this is not necessarily in the order of importance. Okay, so it's in the order that the letters show up, but acronym. Mandy's got me. It's an acronym. Thank you, Mandy. Acronym. Enneagram. That's a personality test. I don't know. So paying yourself, I would say arguably is obviously pretty high up there as far as level of importance of what to do with the profit in your business. And a lot of people, I am always shocked at the number of people that I talk to that are like, oh, I don't routinely pay myself for my business. Or in some cases, people who have run businesses for years saying, I've never, and the way they usually say it is taken a paycheck, but what they really mean is I've never taken money out of my business, right? I've all of the money that I'm making gets used up in my business. You guys, when that's the case, you are working for free. If you've not taken money out of your business, or maybe sporadically here and there, but there's no real rhyme or reason, you never know if you're going to be able to have money to take out of your business to actually pay yourself. Holy moly, you guys, why are you working? You wouldn't work at a job for free, right? Your profit at the end of the day is ultimately your paycheck, right? Right. And so some people think, well, I'm not making much profit, but maybe you're getting some free meals and things like that you're able to deduct. Look, you don't work for food. Don't work for free. Work for cash money. Cash money in your pocket is what you need to be working for. And you need to have a plan for that. Okay. So I'll show you how this works out on the spreadsheet here in a minute, but I just want to go over what are these things that you need to make sure you're thinking about with regards to what you're doing with your cash. And again, this needs to be framed by what are your goals, and these are kind of things that we walk through in my financial fitness formula program to figure out how much to put into each of these buckets based on our own individual goals for ourselves and our business. But right now, I just want to get you familiar with this idea and thinking about how you could put this in your business. Okay, super important here. We need to be saving for a rainy day. I've shouted this from the rooftops forever. And I think it's one of those things that everybody knows, okay, we need to be saving. We need to have an emergency fund. We need to be saving for this, rainy day. But in actuality, and I'm not talking personally, you obviously want to have a personal rainy day fund. This is all money within your business, right? In your business, you want to be saving for a rainy day in your business, i.e., the revenue dries up and I don't want to have to lay off my employees. I still have to pay rent, right? We know this is all fresh. This is all fresh in our minds. We are remembering this right now, where we know not having a pretty suitable rainy day fund can be something that really isn't a problem day to day, but can become a really big problem if things change, right? If the market turns, if there's a pandemic, but it's not just a pandemic. There's a million different things that could happen that could affect your business, and you don't want to be left as a sitting duck, right? And in this case, maybe there was some opportunity for government funding, but that's not always the case, right? If you just have a downturn in your business or a downturn in your area or something happens, oftentimes you're kind of on your own, right? And as we also know, the government funding, didn't, for a lot of people, like it helped, but it didn't make the situation, completely fix the situation. So having a robust rainy day fund, okay? Rainy day fund, money you are setting aside, keeping in your business for business reasons. You can also use this, right? Like, let's say you have a really seasonal business. And so a rainy day fund is really, if you have a seasonal business, because people ask me, how much should I save in the rainy day fund? It really depends. If your business is seasonal, during the good months, let's say you have like crazy summer months, right? Like you're an ice cream shop. If Joanne's on here, I'm not sure. But an ice cream shop, right? You're like gangbusters in the summer, but the winter's like drips and drabs, right? To where you maybe aren't making enough revenue to cover your operating expenses in the winter. Well, in that case, you want to make sure that you are, stockpiling as much of that cash as you possibly can. And having a robust rainy day fund is a really good way to do it. I usually say for regular business, 1 to 3 months of your base operating expenses, right? The expenses that you will have no matter what in your business. If you didn't take in another dollar, you still have rent, possibly, right? You still maybe have employees that you would want to keep, or admin people, things like that. You want to make sure that you're saving for that so that you don't get in a situation where now all of a sudden you're having to come out of pocket to keep your business running if things go downhill. So make sure you are actively saving every single month towards a rainy day fund, at least until you get it to the point where it's built up enough that you feel like you are covered in case of an emergency. All right, this one. O is for opportunity. Now we're talking about the things to use your profit for, the things to use your cash for, right? Pay yourself, rainy day, opportunity. What is opportunity? This one is where I differentiate from some of the other methodologies of managing cash. Okay. So if you are a profit first person, that's a book by Mike Michalowicz. Okay. And he goes through kind of similar, like bucketing of cash around, like, this is where you put your operating expenses. This is what you do with your taxes, those types of things, and paying yourself, right? It's about paying yourself first. In theory, I think it's really good. I think it's a great intentional program. However, one of the drawbacks I see with that is that sometimes people who do a profit first mentality get really crazy about just like running as lean as possible, right? Like no expenses. We're going to cut down to the bare bones to make sure we have enough for these other things. And in some cases, it's good to cut the fat, right? Like you may not need, there are probably certain expenses in your business that aren't really yielding a return, but to grow your business. And if your goal, right? And again, this has to align with your goal. What do you want to do with your business? If you're not really into like growing a business fast and you just want to create a steady recurring income for yourself, great. If you want to grow your business, right? If you have goals to grow and scale your business to the next level, right? You need to be actively investing into your business with things that are going to end up providing you a return. The opportunity fund is a way for you to put money aside, right? You don't spend it on the drips and drabs. You control that budget as much as you can, but you put money aside that ends up getting reinvested back into your business on the big stuff, right? I'm talking about, okay, maybe you're an Etsy shop owner or in a product business of some way, and you want to buy a new machine that's going to make you be able to make things 5 times as fast, right? But you maybe don't have the cash. So you put money into your opportunity fund and then it accumulates over time. And when you have enough money, that's what you buy. Maybe it's for hiring. Maybe that's the next thing you need to invest in your business. So you start putting money aside so that you can pay the first 1 to 2 to 3 months salary for the person you hire out of that opportunity fund. So you're not feeling like this crunch immediately. A lot of the things that keep people from investing in their business, right, are the upfront cost. There's an upfront cost for investing in your business that turns into money later. That's right. Like we need to be looking down the line to say, okay, I'm going to spend money, but this money is going to become more money later. This $100 is going to turn into $300 if I just invest in my business. Investing in your business, honestly, can have a way bigger return than investing in things like, the stock market or real estate sometimes, right? It depends. But we don't often think of it that way. And so investing in our business is making sure that we have the resources there to grow it. So that's hiring, that's machinery and equipment. That might be marketing campaigns that bring in new people, right? So you want to be consistently reinvesting in your business, but oftentimes we don't do it because the money has gotten frittered away on all the other millions of other things, right? And so we don't have that bucket of cash to do something meaningful and big. Maybe it's even an educational program you're buying out of your opportunity fund, right? And it also helps keep you from thinking like that whole, like, can I afford this? Can I afford this? I don't know if I can afford this. I know, like, if I want to do something, if I want to hire an employee, if I want to buy machinery, if I want to invest in an educational program, right, to help my business, I know I just look at the balance in my opportunity reserve. You can track these multiple different ways. Financial fitness formula, I give you 3 different ways you can track them. But however you want to track them, manually or in actual bank accounts, you can look and see and say, okay, so I have $10,000 of this opportunity fund. I've got the money. And then you can spend that on something that you know is going to provide a return down the line without any guilt or without worrying about what it's going to do, going forward, or if you're going to have enough cash to pay your regular operating expenses if you do that. For me, that has been one of the biggest game changers in my business, bar none. It has allowed me to invest in the things that I need to help my business grow. And this is really important to those of you who maybe are not big investors. Maybe you play it small, right? Maybe you don't, you don't go after that next thing, even though maybe you have some big dreams, but you're playing it really small in your business. Having an opportunity fund that you've set aside for the purpose of growing and scaling your business can make all the difference. I cannot overstate it enough. In the people that go through financial fitness formula, what I have heard most often as being one of the things that's really helps transform, all of this, right, for them and their business is this, number one, knowing what they can invest in, knowing how much money they have to invest back into their business and having the confidence to do that. Right. And that is such an important thing to make sure we're consistently reinvesting. So the opportunity fund is all about putting money aside and you let it grow over several months. Right. And then when you need to reinvest, if you need something in your business and it's one of those things that's usually like, oh man, that's going to be a big expense. Right. You've got that money there to do it. That's what it's there for. So I really recommend having that set aside for yourself to make sure you're focusing on growing your business. Okay. We're going to talk about how much to put in each of these just very briefly here at the end. Future, I'm going to try to kind of fly through some of these. Future is typically going to be retirement savings, or maybe it's debt payoff, depending on your situation. And that debt payoff may be personal and it may be business, right? But you're going to put things aside for future. So that might be a 401k or a SEP IRA or something like that. Or it might be debt pay down. So depending on what you prioritize, if you're close to retirement, you probably want to be putting more into that future fund. If you're farther away and don't have any debt, maybe it's less, right? But you can determine that based on where you are and what your situation is. If you are in debt and you want to get out of that quickly, then you're going to put a bunch into that future fund in the meantime to be able to pay that debt quickly. Okay. Done. So why does profit? It's not that I can't spell, you guys. I know how to spell. I know how to spell profit, but you can't do this without fun. And this was missing from my original one. Honestly, I spelled it the regular way and I'm like, there's something missing. And I had to look at what I was actually doing in my life. And when I started my business, one of the things that I did, because I am not a person like, I will tell you, it's really, really hard for me to spend money on myself, right? It's really, really hard. And that was a block I had to go work myself through to say, no, like taking care of yourself and doing good things in life. We work really hard, you guys, as business owners. We are dealing with a million different stresses. If I don't do something for myself every once in a while, right? This business is not going to be sustainable for me. It's just not. And I'm going to lose the love for it as well. And so what I added in here was a fun fund, which basically is something that you can set aside for whatever is, like, a lot of people use it for trips, right? If there's a trip you've been wanting to take, maybe it's that Disney trip, maybe you want to go to Europe, like whatever it is, it's saving up for that thing. And let me tell you, that thing is going to motivate you more than a lot of this other stuff to make more money. Because as entrepreneurs, we can control that cash flow in. We can control how much money comes into our business. And we will be more motivated to make more money by saying, you know what, a portion of this is going to go to this thing that I really want to do. Maybe it's a home improvement project. I tell you what, my very first thing that we did with our fun fund, we bought a hot tub. We saved over a couple different launches. And what my favorite part about that was, my husband has always wanted a hot tub. Always, always, always. wanted a hot tub. I am the practical of the two of us. It's like, it's a lot of work, like that's kind of a silly thing to spend money on, right? He always wanted a hot tub. And when when I decided to kind of go into this business full force, right? I honestly, I wanted to get him on board. I wanted him, to see outside of just making money and doing different things. I wanted to get him on board, more invested in cheering for my success. Not that he wasn't already, you guys. My husband is amazing. But let me tell you, when you add that little carrot on top and he's like, how's your lunch going? How close are we? He was all of a sudden, he's like, what can I do to help? He saw it too. He could see how we're getting closer to this fun thing that we get to have or that we get to do. Right. And so I think that there's just an element of excitement. And now I look and we have we're saving right now for a trip to Italy next year. That's our next thing that's coming out of our fund. And we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to take a pretty dang nice trip to Italy at this rate, hopefully, right? Where it's going to be fantastic. And so, we save it over time. I'll save it over a long period of time. But for me, it's very, very motivating, and it can be really motivating for families. So tell me in the comments, and I'm going to keep going on this because I don't want to take too long on this, but tell me in the comments, what would your first thing that you would put in your fund? What's the thing that you want to save for? And you may already be kind of doing this, but this is kind of formalizing it a little bit so that you can make sure that you stay intentional. So tell me what it would be. And I'm going to put this up from April. Thanks. I try to make it really simple and not I feel like, and I don't want to talk bad about Profit First because I think it's helped a lot of people's businesses. Mine is I take a different take on things. And maybe it's more of the female take on things. I don't know. But I want it to be simple, and I don't want to have a million different bank accounts to be worrying about. Yeah, Jody. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I do love my hot tub. I would invite you over, but they don't let monkeys in the hot tub. That's probably a bad idea. Jody has a monkey on her head, by the way. That's my favorite thing about Jody. And if you ever switch that picture, Jody, I'm going to be devastated. Because I also picture you always having the monkey with you. I'm assuming that's your monkey and you just take it everywhere in your life. So, Legoland. I mean, that's fair, but make sure it's something that you want to, right? It can be a family vacation, and we love Disney. We're big Disney people. So we definitely do that, but also it's okay to treat yourself, right? It is okay to treat yourself sometimes. Maybe it's a trip to a spa, you guys, who knows? Okay. But then, and this is why I like that this comes right after fun. We have our own fun, but we can also help people through our businesses. And I don't just mean the people that you're actually helping in terms of what you're providing in your business. I mean the greater people, the greater world, the impact that our money, our pocketbooks can have. Okay. And I don't want to get preachy on y'all because that is not what I'm here for. But I will tell you again, one of the biggest motivating factors that I have in my business is that 10% of my profits go immediately to nonprofits that align with the values of my organization. And that for me has been critical. Now you don't have to start at 10%, right? That's a heck of a high number, but you can start anywhere. You can start at 1%. And you will be able to see that accumulate over time and the impact that you can have on the greater good in the greater world. I will also tell you, not everybody on here is a woman, right? Not everybody on here is a woman, but these statistics show, right? Women, we tend to keep ourselves small. Stats will show you that when women get the economic power, i.e. the cash money, you guys, into our hands, we are much more generous with that money. We make a bigger impact with that money, right? We're not out there typically, no judgment, but we're not buying the Lamborghinis and the yachts. We're starting the nonprofits and doing big things out there. And yes, still having fun without guilt, but women tend to be very, very good with our money. And so I think that we tell these lies of I don't need more money. Who needs that much money? It's just, it's wrong to want that much money, right? We've internalized all these messaging, all this messaging around money and how it makes us feel. And so we're I don't want that. It's gross to want money. Guess what you can do with it though? Okay. So don't come at me. Don't tell me I'm revved up this morning. I had some coffee. Don't tell me It's not okay to like, it's wrong to want money. And it's, like this whole like root of all evil. Money is a tool. Money is a tool. It can definitely be used for evil, but it's what you do with it, right? And us getting that economic power back, women tend to make a difference in this world. So decide to start, right? A lot of times we're like, when I'm making X, then I will contribute, right? When I'm making this much, then I will. Make it, just decide today, 1%. I'm gonna start at 1%. Maybe by next year I can do 2, right? Whatever it is, think about those causes that are really, really important to you and what you can do through this business. And again, just like the fund, you will work harder knowing what that reward can be for others, what the reward is for yourself and what the reward is for others. And let me tell you, the reward for others is going to be the thing that has the biggest reward for you as well. I promise that. Promise it. Okay. And then after that, like impassioned speech, this is why I hate the way these letters actually show up on here. Y'all know what this is. Who wants to tell me? Who wants to tell me what goes next? What do we need to do with our profit? We're business owners, you guys. What do we need to do? I'm going to wait because there's a delay. I'm going to wait. And I'm first going to say, okay, Mandy says she's going to go on a girls trip. Woohoo. Let's see. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Jody's got it. She's got me. So does Rachel. Y'all are on it. All right. Oh, I like it. Yep. Y'all know how it goes. So we got to save for taxes. You guys. And the amount that you're going to save, obviously, talking with an accountant is the best thing that you could do. It's going to depend on your entity type. It's going to depend on a lot of different things. But generally in the range of like 25 to 35% is a good range, depending. And it kind of depends on what you do with the rest of this. The higher your pay yourself number is, I'll tell you that. The higher your pay yourself number is and the higher your fund number is, the more you're going to want to, the more you are going to want to put aside for taxes, right? Also, depending on your state, if you're in California, New York, some of these high tax states, you're going to do higher. If you're in Tennessee, like me, with no income tax, it's going to be a little bit lower. But let me show you, and I want you to tell you guys, if you want to do this yourself and figure out what your percentages are, right? Like I said, we walk through this in detail in Financial Fitness Formula, and there are 4 modules that come before this to help you maximize your profit. So we're kind of in the middle of the program, which is hard to implement. But if you want to maximize your profit first, that's what I recommend. And that's going through my program to maximize profit. Then you get to hear where you make these allocations. And then after that, we do forecasting, and, all kinds of good things after this fact. But I want to give you an opportunity at least to start making this even outside of the program and give you a little bit of a taste of what it is like. So go to, it should be linked above, and I'll put it in the comments, jamietrull.com/ what is it? Profit with 2 F's plan. Okay. So jamietrull.com / profit plan. Let me find the spreadsheet. And if you go there, you're going to get my little template, which is a little worksheet. It's super easy. You fill in just like a couple numbers and that's all. And it helps to show you what you can do with your profit plan. So this might be tough to see. So we're going to so the only thing you'll start by doing, and this can be absolutely estimates for right now, but if you want to put in an average of your monthly income. So let's say, and again, when you go through Financial Fitness Formula, these will be really, really easy for you to fill out, even in more detail. Let's say you don't take a salary. The salary here is just if you're an S Corp or a C Corp and you take an actual salary. For the purpose of this, we're not going to put anything in for that. So let's say your total monthly base profit is 10,000. Well, now you come down here and you're going to put in all your different percentages. So let's say, let's see how close I can get to, so let's say 40%. That's a pretty decent pay yourself rate, because remember, we got to think about taxes as well. So we can start with some of the higher ones, right? So 40% for that. Let's say 25% for taxes. For this example, let's say you want to give 5% to charity. You want to give 5% to yourself for fun stuff. Opportunity cost, you want to do about 20. That's a pretty hefty reinvesting back into your business. and maybe 2% for future. So maybe, maybe you're far away from retirement, you don't really have debt, so you're just going to put a little bit into your 401k or your SEP IRA every single month. So this is an example of what it can look like. And it tells you, okay, here's how much, here's what you take out to pay yourself as an owner draw. Here's what you're going to put into that rainy day fund to save for emergencies. Here's what you're going to put into that opportunity fund to save, to reinvest back into your business. Okay. So we're not going to fritter it away on all the little stuff. This is for big reinvestments. We're going to buy machinery. We're going to hire employees. We're going to take a program, something like that with that money. Future, you're going to use this for retirement or debt payoff. Fun, this is for you to have fun. This is going towards that, Disney trip or that hot tub or that trip to Legoland that Robert was going to take. Impact, we're going to use this. We're going to donate this to a charity that we feel strongly about, or even make direct donations to somebody who's struggling, right? Whatever you want to do with that, whatever feels good to you, whatever you're called to do, that's what's going in that impact fund. And you're going to put this into a separate account for taxes, right? We're going to have it. It's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Now, if you're wondering how to do this, the easiest way to do this, I think there are multiple different ways that you can do this, but one of the ways and how I handle mine is I use Bank Novo. And that's actually why I went with Bank Novo. My old bank, Aslo, had this feature too, but you had to pay for it. And then they closed. And so Bank Novo has an ability to create different reserve accounts. So you only have one bank account. You're not opening up 17 different bank accounts and going to different banks like Profit First tells you to do and things like that, right? You have one bank account. You're not managing all that, but you can segregate the money into different reserve accounts. And when you do that, it's going to tell you what your spendable balance is after you have that. So when I make, a purchase and I need to pay it out of my opportunity fund, I transfer that back into my main fund and then I pay it, right? And when I need to make estimated tax payments, I transfer that out of my taxes fund and then I pay it. But I can kind of reserve it so that I know, don't spend this money. It is earmarked. That is why I really like Novo. That's why I went with them in the first place. It's also free online business banking. Can't beat free. Really like free. And they have 5 reserve accounts that you can use. So that's the way that I manage it. Again, I go into a lot more details on the ins and outs of how to manage this well in your business within Financial Fitness Formula, along with how to actually maximize your profit before you get to this point, right? Because if you don't have any profit at the end of the day, when we come up here to this, if yours looks something like this, if yours looks something like this, right? You're paying yourself $400, right? So what you want to do, so if you do this and you're like, oh man, I don't have much profit to begin with, you'll need to sign up for my course. And even if you have a lot of profit, but you want more, you need to sign up for my course, jbtrull.com/FFF. It's not open yet. We're only going to be open for 7 days. I only open doors once or twice a year. So you're not going to want to miss out. We're doing a September launch. So make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on, but more importantly, make sure to join the wait list, which I will drop here in a minute. This is the wait list. I think it's up top as well, depending on where you're watching me. Here is the wait list, jbtrull.com/FFF. There are also special perks when you get on my wait list. So I'll just leave it at that. There are special things that come up to only waitlist members. So you probably, if you're interested at all, you're not saying you're going to join it. You're not spending any money, putting any credit cards down right now. You are just saying, I'm interested in learning more. I want to make sure I don't miss out when doors are open, jbtrull.com/FFF. And absolutely, yes, this video is always saved. You can always rewatch these videos either within, you're watching me on Facebook, so the replay will be ticked as an announcement at the top. Or if you like to 2-speed, although I talk pretty fast anyway, but I like to watch things on 2-speed. So I always go back and watch things on YouTube. So this is also on my YouTube channel, Jamie Trull. Just search for me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and you'll be able to see all my old lives. I also do content that's just for YouTube over there. So special, they're usually a little bit shorter content because there's not interaction. They're ones that I record specifically for YouTube. So you want to make sure that you have gone over there. And I have to put this up. Ashley, woohoo! Ashley says FFF is awesome. I'm getting ready to go through the coursework again. I did it in January. Yay. Awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Ashley. I've enjoyed having you in there too. And that's the great thing. We have a lot of resources, PDFs, checklists, worksheets. Y'all know I love my worksheets and I make them very easy and plug and play that you can use in your business. So you're not only getting lessons and learning how to go through this. You're also getting all the resources that you need for your business within FFF. And we're like a community, y'all. I love, getting to know Ashley and several of the other members that went through Financial Fitness Formula with me last time. I actually do a lot of live interaction with you guys, both through Q&As and sometimes Zoom happy hours and fun things like that. So y'all need to be a part of it because I want to get to know you better. Let's see. I love that. And it's lifetime access. So you get to do it forever. Now it's not even open. It's like I'm pitching it right now. I'm not actually pitching it. Yay, Rachel signed up for the wait list. I'm so glad. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited for this next class of FFF. We do classes for this where everybody goes through it kind of together. Now, even if, but you have it forever. So if you go through it now and you need it later, just like Ashley is, you can re-review it at any time and you get the updates. So as we add things and different things like that, you get all the updates as well. So it's a win-win. So hopefully y'all can join me. I make sure to grab this freebie though. This is the Profit Plan worksheet, jamietrull.com/profit plan. Remember profit with two F's, TM, trademark. Also, yes, I did two F's because I couldn't leave out fun. That's what I say. It's also so I could get the trademark because it's really hard to trademark just the regular profit plan. Just side note. All right. You guys are awesome. I will be back next week. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of, yay, so good, Chris. Yay. I love it. I love all the enthusiasm. It's going to be a really, really fun time. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.